Hi, my name is Thomas Sapp, and we're going to discuss my leadership philosophy a little bit today. I'm going to go over a couple points. First, I'm going to define leadership, my leadership goals while I'm at Troy, and the leadership goals that I have after I get done with my degree at Troy. The characteristics that I would like to achieve and that I would like to carry on for leadership, and how I would use those in the real world. Then also talk about my leadership style and why I chose that leadership style, and what I can do moving forward to help carry myself to be able to carry on that leadership style. First off, I'm going to define leadership. This is my definition of leadership. It differs a little bit from how Troy defines leadership. My definition of a leader is one who that will carry and put others before himself for the betterment of a group. How I came up with that is just how I've seen people over the past couple of years throughout my professional career. Ones that will actually carry themselves and do what others are not willing to do and show you how it's done and put themselves first. It may be taking the fall on something for an employee so that employee does not get fired. That's where I kind of define leadership as one that it makes yourself make others want to follow you. My leadership goals at Troy are to continue to maintain a 3.5 GPA, always be honest, always work with the teachers, maintain a level of professionalism with my peers, kind of monitor those discussion boards. If anybody has a question, be there to answer it if I know it. That's been one of the big things for me is just kind of help others throughout the process of going to school and kind of learn from others as well. I have a couple characteristics that I have in mind of what I want to achieve. First is always going to be honesty. If you're not honest, people are not going to trust you. That's just 100%. If they catch you in a lie, you're going to be done. Next is I want to be inspirational. I want to be able to tell people about my journey. Let's say if it's just to receive my degree and what it took for me to get here, what all the sacrifices I had to make, talk about my family sacrifices and go forward with that. And I want to inspire people to be able to be better. And they look at me and say, hey, if Thomas Sapp can finish his degree at 30 years old, I can go do what I've been wanting to do my entire life. So that's one of the big things is I've been wanting to be inspirational. And I always want to have a positive attitude. If you have a negative attitude in life, you are always going to have people around you with a negative attitude. If you keep a positive attitude and you always stay that course no matter how bad the future looks for you, keep a positive attitude. People are going to see that and they're always going to be inspired by that. So it kind of goes back and forth with each other and kind of works hand in hand. And next, I want to talk about my leadership style, and I want to tell you a little bit more on why and my experiences with others that have had these other different kind of leadership styles and why I chose this. My leadership style is going to be democratic. I like to lead by showing by example. I don't want to follow somebody myself if they're not willing to do what they're telling me to do. And that's where I think the authoritative style comes in. I've worked for a couple people that have worked that way. It just is not very useful to me. So when I see a democratic style leader, I want to follow that guy or her or she, whoever it may be, and I want to follow behind that person. And that's who I want people to look at me and say, hey, if this guy's willing to go out here and do this, I'm going to go do it too, and I'm going to give it my 100%. If he's willing to put himself on the line, then I should be able to put myself on the line too. So that's one of the things that I kind of look at and make sure that everybody understands is, the authoritarian style, it's useful in some situations. It's useful for some people. But the one I'm going to always lead with is going to be the democratic style. I want to thank you, everybody that gets to view this today. I appreciate you coming by and watching my video and learning a little bit more about my leadership philosophy. At the end, we talked about my leadership goals, my leadership characteristics, my leadership style, and I also got to talk about my defining what leadership meant to me. So Again, I really appreciate it, and I hope everybody comes away with something from this and maybe even help change your mind on what type of leadership style or characteristics that you may want to achieve. Thank you.